The views and opinions of this video and comments to this channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of this channel's broadcaster. If you have a complaint about something or find the content is being used incorrectly, please don't contact the broadcaster. This is Balaclava Diaries. We're toxic, we're talking aggressive. If you don't like it, send a message. We're weed stimulated, educated, top rated, and never baited. I am the OG MacG. To the left of me over here, we got Lofsky. Okay. And we have, two special ladies with us today because this is the finance episode and, just business structure and, giving more information to the hood on how to turn that money right. You know what I'm saying? We're talking to Angelina, the beautiful Angelina, okay? And we also have the beautiful Nadia over here masked up today. She's going to go in. She's going to go in. All right. So, my whole reason for doing this episode is just because, there's a lot of people that, live in the city right now that are going through, financial hard times and, either don't know what it is to start a business or be a part of a company or even to have like a financial thought process that's outside of living paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? So, we just wanted to kind of have not like an educational episode to the sense where it's like we really want to start to figure out, what's different streamlines we can do to, make money. In this room we always have our DJ T-Dot's finest. He makes apparel, he DJs, he's like a jack of all trade entrepreneur. You are a FOREX trader, right? And Nadia owns a studio, visual and audio, so it's just like these are three different avenues altogether, so it's going to be interesting to hear what you guys have to say. So all of us have gone through failure in whatever it is we've been trying to do. I want to start there. How do you attack failure? How do you go through, situations where you were expecting something and something else happened that totally knocked you off your rocker and away from your goal?
I would say you don't necessarily attack it, you learn from it and see, take in what lessons it was meant to teach you in that moment. Any failures that I've ever had has only gotten me to another level or another place that I was kind of meant to be. So take what you can from it, make it a learning experience, and don't make the same mistakes.
How about you, Nadia?
But what is the failure? What are you getting set?
Whatever you deem as failure, right? Like everybody has a different idea. I just feel like,
there's always going to be setbacks, but at the same time, just push through to get to your goal. If that is your goal, then do whatever you need to do to get to that goal.
Right. But if you fall short of it in, let's say time scope is the space we're sitting in, and you have to get certain things done by a certain time.
Pivot, redo it, get to that goal. It's not always going to be one straight road, and just because you think it's going to be that, maybe you have to go a different route to get to that goal.
What do you two think that more people should be focusing in on during a recession? Some people say that the recession hasn't started yet. Other people say that the economy is already in a really bad shape. How should we be pivoting during this period, and what should more people in Toronto be doing?
Planning, preparing themselves, understanding where they stand financially, and really coming up with a plan on where they want to be. Understanding a lot of times there's a lot of people that have poor money management skills. A lot of people don't budget. A lot of people don't really know how much money they're actually bringing in and putting out at the end of the month. I think that that's a perfect place to start. Understand your income and your debts, because without that, you really don't know where you stand. So preparing for, short term and long term, and making sure that you have all the necessary information to make the proper decisions along the way. But just preparing, planning. That's biggest right now.
I think just show up. Get out of bed and show up. Go get a job. Go get a job.
No, it's true though. It's just
show up.
In North America, I feel like we come with a lot of this bravado where it's I'm above a certain job. You know what I mean? Some people are too proud to get dual employment, or you know what I mean, have 3 to 4 jobs to make ends meet. But if we keep it real, Toronto's the type of city where you need 3 jobs and a little bit of fraud just to make it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, um, legally, well, allegedly, right? But at the end of the day, it's really interesting to me because not a lot of people are taking that route. You know, there's money out here to be made. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, are you really just sitting at home complaining while you have 5 extra hours to spare that night? Or you know what I mean? Like, what do you speak to someone who's like a single parent and they have the excuse of, oh, I don't have enough time, or you know, the kids are taking up too much of my time. Like, what do you say to that person that's struggling? How do they battle their way out of that?
Get a good boyfriend.
What makes a good boyfriend? Like, what's the criteria?
I mean, if you're a single parent, like, find a good boyfriend. Are they gonna help you financially? Are they gonna help you with the kids? Find somebody that's gonna help you. Find a good babysitter.
My angle is a little bit more independent. I feel that somebody that does have responsibilities, there's really no excuse because there's enough hours in a day to get what you need to get done.
Right.
There's remote jobs. There's things that you can do. You can, depending on how old your child is, you can involve them. But I think even if people get specific jobs or more than one job, or they have a steady income or not, what the underlying issue is with a lot of people is they just don't know how to manage their money. So you can have 3 jobs and still be broke. I've seen people like
NFL
do
players
legal
is broke.
stuff, illegal
NBA
stuff,
players,
still broke.
you know, rappers
So
broke after the
yeah,
first album. You know what I'm saying?
financial. There's so many celebrities that have millions or had millions and millions of dollars, and then they have to file for bankruptcy because
Jesus
their
Christ.
money management skills sucked. So you could work one single job, have a proper budget, and be you're like,
And you're always
you
going to
have,
scale up.
yeah, you would consider to have a better, life than somebody that has a lot of money and doesn't know how to manage it.
So
It comes down to that.
why are people going broke? Like, what do you think the main reasons for people going broke right now?
Lack of financial literacy is number one. Like, I feel strongly about that, and people live above their means. If you can't afford it, you can't buy it 2 times over, probably shouldn't have it.
So what do you say to the people that have the excuse where they're like, okay, you know, yeah, I'm financially literate, but I live in a fucking capitalist society where I'm made to spend my whole check. I'm made, like, by the time my check's done, I just paid my bills and bought groceries. So what do you say to that person? How do they wiggle their way out of that conundrum? You know what I'm saying?
They just have to change their mentality. Like, what do you want? If you're comfortable with living that life, then live that life. But if you want more, you're gonna have to change. Nothing's going to change unless you do. So you got to do something different.
That's super true.
Yeah.
Really important.
The pivot. A lot of people don't want to take that step to the left. You
Then
know,
they can
it's
stay
a
to the
scary
right.
step.
Yeah, the cycle.
Huh?
It's because it's so comfortable to just be stuck in the problem, because you might be like, okay, you recognize like maybe I'm living above my means, but if I have to switch all this stuff, or some of it I think is insecurity too. Like, people are like, oh shit, I don't like, they're more worried about looking broke than like actually living below their means and getting themselves to a better point.
Yeah, but you'll see in like the media all the time, some people with the most amount of money, they're driving a Honda. They have like, I don't know, regular t-shirts,
They wear dad
sneakers.
shoes.
Yeah, but this person that still lives with with family or whatever can't really, make ends meet. They're driving this car, they have that or whatever. So it's just like, what are your priorities? Like, get yourself in order and figure out exactly where you want to be and get yourself there. Like, at the end of the day, there's really no excuse because everybody's gone through it financially, especially through COVID. You just have to decide what it is that you want and work towards that and stick to your guns on it. Some people just can't do that. They're not honest enough with themselves.
Don't worry about my pockets. Anyway, so okay, if that's what we're telling people right now, let's give them the blueprint. Let's prioritize steps that it takes to be successful. Like, let's give them like a daily regimen of things that you should, what are some things that you guys do to kind of make sure that the money's always flowing, you know what I'm saying?
First thing I do every morning is check my bank account. I always check my bank account. If it's not where I want it to be, that's my fuel for the day. If it's where it's supposed to be, then it sets me up really nicely and puts me in a good mood. But check your finances and be sure to know what your debts are, how much money you have coming in, and do a solid budget. Start from there. That way you have a better idea of how much you're supposed to be bringing in and how much money you're supposed to be putting out. And stay strict. Like, stick to it. Don't sway
You
too
can't be
much.
wishy-washy.
No, be disciplined. Just like some people will be disciplined to go to the gym, be disciplined with your finances.
So you're just saying sacrifice, like sacrifice whatever it is you have to do. Step 2. What's step 2?
Step 2 is to make sure you have a steady flow of income. If you're working a job that's like sporadic or whatever, that's going to cause problems, then there's no point in even doing a budget. Make sure that you have, steady income, and if you need to increase that, figure out ways that you can make that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nadia, what would you say is step 3?
I would go back to step 1. I feel like people should just get up and shower and get up to go to work. Because why are you checking your bank account? You don't have a job. Just shower, go to work.
Well, if you're checking your bank account, you don't have a job. It's motivation.
Back it up.
You'd be like, damn, I'm broke. I gotta go get a
Get a
job.
job.
Look presentable.
Just get
So
up.
step 3 is get the fuck up and go to work. Like, stop complaining. Go get a job, even if it's at McDonald's. You gotta push a broom out this motherfucker. Start somewhere.
A job
you
is
know
a job.
Start
Job is a
somewhere. I don't
job.
care what your education is. Start fucking somewhere. Get out that tent and get to the fucking, employment office. Because there's shit out here. There's shit out here, man. There's crazy shit out here. Indeed's fucking shit is blowing up every single day. They have like 400 at least new fucking jobs daily that are shown. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if you don't have what it takes to do that job, find a job that you can do, man. And just get that bread. So what would you say is step 4?
I think step 4 just the same, just like have the discipline to keep showing up.
So staying power. You have to, stay on the course no matter what.
But then at the same time, you brought up success, and what is success? Success is going to look like different for everybody.
That's a great point. So for both of you, because you're probably going to both have very different perspectives on it. Like for Nadia, like what's your take on success?
I think my take on success is happiness.
Okay.
Money doesn't always come with happiness. Happiness doesn't always come with money.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my take on that is just be happy wherever you are, whatever your budget is, whatever you're making. Be happy with what you're doing.
Do you mean like happiness in terms of like contentment?
Yeah, that's
just like
that's
gratitude.
Success for me is just happiness. Is just you feel at peace, you feel happy, you feel good with what you're doing.
Serenity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Success for me would be freedom, just like all around freedom in every aspect, like financial freedom, location freedom, time freedom, like taking back your time and owning that, not having somebody else tell you when and where you're supposed to be at a specific time of day, not somebody telling you when you can take time to have with your family or go on vacation, not somebody else determining what your value is at the end of the year with your salary or what have you, but you having the freedom to decide for yourself. That's what ultimate success is for me. You start with a budget. And once you get your finances where they're supposed to be, where you're taking care, you have some sort of schedule set up where you're paying off your debts, then you're starting with investing. You're putting your money in places and allowing your money to work for you. But you have to start somewhere. And there's people that start with like $50, $100 investing. So there's really no excuse. It's like the middleman for doing all of that has been removed. You have access to do all of that yourself now. So
I like that, focusing on time, because I think that it's so easy to get wrapped up in money and material possessions and stuff, but that's really the most valuable asset. Like, what am I giving my time to? Because on the one hand, it's like, sure, like, I gotta show up. I don't care if I have to have 3-4 jobs to get ahead, but I also don't want to be giving my time to bullshit, right? Because then it's like, I'm really just, that there's a finite amount of time. There's no finite amount of money. We can always have more money. Like, the government's printing enough.
For me, time is like the most valuable commodity. So like, take back your time and decide what you're gonna do with it, and that's real success.
Taking back your time though means being broke for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna stop and really like pivot and think about life, it's hard to transition while you don't even know what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people get stuck in this process of this is what I want to do and what I know I want to do, but I gotta pay the bills. I gotta get that new jacket. I gotta drive my Benz. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, how do you get lost in the priorities sometimes? Does that happen to you guys? Do you ever, have a month where you splashed out and balled out too much and you're like, God damn, like, I got to check myself and what was that like? Like, you know what I mean?
When you've gone through a lot of things and you've experienced the highs and the lowest low, you'll snap out of it quick. Like, if you've been low enough and you've had to rebuild yourself from scratch, like, your priorities will be set. So sometimes those hard moments is what you need, but you just have to know what you want for yourself.
Okay, wait, what was the question?
The
When
question
you ball
is
out,
like,
you ball out too hard and like
yeah,
you come
like,
back?
how do you like deal with those situations when you've had like a hiccup within your own finances? Like, just because you're spending the money. You know what I
Look,
mean? Like,
shower. No, but you said something before that too.
it just goes all to kind of like prioritizing your money, right?
When you're
So,
prioritizing your priorities too much.
no, like when your priorities shift. So it's like maybe you bought a Benz or maybe you got, you know what I mean? And your priorities start to get kind of fuzzy. You know what I'm saying? Like as you accumulate more wealth, it's easy to get attached to your new mansion or your new car or your new, you know what I'm saying? Um, so it's like, what do you do to kind of snap out of that and bring yourself back home and be like, let's hold on to this money, huh?
I just remember, when I was broke and didn't have anything, and that not wanting to go back there
So like
keeps me straight.
fear keeps you there.
Yeah, like I'm never gonna allow that to happen to me again. I know how to.
I hear that. We all go through that. I go through that shit.
It was broke counting pennies, bro. Yeah, because like there were moments where we were up, like really, really up, and everything came crashing down, and it was like we had to figure things out. And yeah, when you're put in that situation, you'll always remember it. So it doesn't matter how high you get, if your memory's strong enough, you'll make sure you never get back there.
Now, what if we heard like some kind of like in depth? Cause you both have stories of your businesses. Like, how did these come together? Like, how did you kind of get into entrepreneurism and launching your businesses? Like, what does that look like for both of you?
I think I've been an entrepreneur longer than I've known, and I've always been doing things to get money, probably since a teenager. I mean, just like selling stuff, selling services, whatever it is. And I didn't really realize that I was an entrepreneur until later in life. So I would say that. But as far as myself, I would just, I mean, I do like web design, photo editing, video editing, and I would just take as many routes as I could. And I just kept getting as many jobs as I could, doing all that I could. If that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that's how I got into it. You just
That's
keep.
where you started on like web design.
I started in photography actually. I didn't even go to my prom. I photographed my prom.
Jeez. But see, that's super sacrifice. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck the prom. I'm gonna get these digits. You know what I'm saying? But that's super sacrifice because a lot of girls look at their prom like it's their wedding. You know what I mean? Like that's your high school wedding. You know what I mean? You go out, you buy a dress, you get your
Not really,
boyfriend
because if
together,
you don't
whatever.
have the money to do that, and your parents aren't giving you the money to do that, then it doesn't. I don't care about the prom. I was probably just gonna go get drunk in the bathroom anyways.
I'm more concerned to know like what's that pivotal moment for you? When did you know you had to like shift into entrepreneurism as opposed to just sticking to whatever you've seen other people do? Like what was that moment that drove you to that? Like
I had to have surgery because of working too hard. So I'm more I'm a newer entrepreneur.
right.
I've done like a lot of things career wise in my past. So I was a real estate agent. I worked in fashion management. I did a bit of buying. I worked in the film industry in Vancouver
Right.
on like Hallmark and Lifetime and Netflix.
Right.
Then I came back to Toronto and I was an area manager for an advertising and marketing company. And I was like overlooking 473 stores. And then I worked in the cannabis industry where I was a regional manager overlooking several dispensaries in Toronto, Oshawa, and Peterborough.
Right.
So doing all of those things, even though I kept working my way up in positions and, I was doing good. But the one thing that kept was consistent was that I really didn't have control or freedom with my time. I didn't get to decide what I wanted to do in a given day. Even though I had a lot of wiggle room, I still didn't feel like I was, doing what I wanted to do. And I didn't like being capped at the end of the year every year with my boss telling me, okay, this is how much.
So what
Yeah,
was the
this is how much
story, the exact
you're
story that broke? Like, what was that day? Like, bring us back to that day.
I was feeling I was, there was a lot going on in work. I was busy all like 50, 60 hours a week.
Shit.
And I was starting to feel pain in my stomach. And when I went to the doctor, she was asking about my stress levels and just how much I'm working and all of that. She's concerned. And then they said, well, there's something in your stomach that needs to be repaired and you need to take it down a notch on how much you're working and how much you're lifting and things like that, because I was lifting a lot of boxes. And I had to have surgery because of that. And even after my surgery, I thought that I was going to be able to recover really quickly and get back to work, and I rushed it. So I didn't take as much time as I was supposed to, because I'm so
Shit.
driven to get back to work and get things done.
Like
And
Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, it wasn't good. So I snapped out of it soon after and was like, yeah, no, this is not it. Like, I'm jeopardizing my health to make sure our sales are where they need to be, because as soon as I took time away, they started to drop. So I understood how, important it was for me to be there. My presence was.
Right.
But it didn't matter after a while because it was my health I was dealing with. So that was the moment that I realized, yeah, I'm going to have to figure out something else and do it for me.
And how do you manage your stress levels like nowadays so that it never gets to that point?
I meditate every day. That helps. That keeps me sane and keeps a lot of people from getting slapped.
Jeez.
And
Jeez.
I do that quite a bit. And I just decide what I'm going to take on and what I'm not going to take on, what bullshit I'm going to deal with and what I'm not going to deal with. Like, I just decide what's good for my health and good for my mental. And if it's not that and it's not conducive to my growth and what it is I'm trying to work towards, I eliminate it. I don't hold on to things like I used to or try and figure them out when it feels like it's being forced. I just cut it. It's not for me. Whether that's a situation, a business situation, a relationship, anything. I just,
No room for resentment.
not at all.
Yeah,
No.
that's good.
Okay. So, Nadia, can you speak to a time where that pivotal moment that forced you into being an entrepreneur, or whatever the decision way was? You know.
I think, like I said, I think I was always an entrepreneur and I didn't really realize it. And I've always been doing things on the side for money. I don't
So
know.
what?
And it's just always.
So what was the first time, like your first transaction, where you were like, okay, yeah, I'm making bread now. This is what I'm doing. You know.
It's just like a. I can't really talk on it too much, but just like even little things like in high school, I'm selling hair extensions.
Okay.
So just things like that, I would just do anything that I could make a profit from.
Right.
And it just kept getting more and more and more, and I just kept getting more skills that I could use to make money.
So you're saying you can sell salt to a slug? You're saying.
I'm not saying that, but
Okay.
She's on it.
um,
So selling hair in school, and like, what drove you to that? Like, was it lack of money? Was it just you just wanted money and wanted things? Like, did you want a new bike? Like, if you were hustling from that young, like, what drove you to that?
I think maybe just my brain works like that, where I have something and you want it, so I'm going to sell it to you.
What were you selling the bundles for?
For girls that wanted them.
No, but how much? Like, what was your profit margin?
I don't remember. This is 20 years ago. I'm 14.
Did you two ever flip NFTs?
Sorry?
NFTs, anyone? Flip any? No, skip that whole way. Okay.
Everyone here is saying it was a bad investment. No NFTs for me.
Did you?
Yeah, no, I used to. It was lit for a while. I made some
That's
held
good.
held on too long, but like I made some money. One of my buddies at one point had 7 figures from the shit.
That's really
God
good.
Like a lot of people were going stupid crazy. Like
That was like pandemic times, right?
2020, 2021.
What do you buy?
Cool cats, pudgy penguins, fucking everything, bro. Like all kinds of bullshit, man. Yeah,
It seemed like a scam to me.
for sure.
Yeah.
It was great though.
It didn't make. I
But
couldn't
yeah,
wrap
no,
my head
there's
around.
it's real, but
Yeah.
not everybody can get in on it.
Hard to evaluate.
Yeah.
What behavior upsets you the most when you see it financially in other people? Like when you look at somebody and you're just like, why are you doing this? Like, you should be doing this. What is that one thing that you see that irks you and you're like, everybody should fucking know how to do this. Why don't you know how to do this?
Pay bills, have a bank account, have an Uber account, just like really basic things. Driver's license, super, super basic things that just bug me, and it's just, I don't get it. Why don't you have these things?
A lot of people got a lot of different problems, you know. what
For
I'm
sure,
saying?
but that's what irks me is just very basic adult things, and we're both adults here, but you don't have a bank account. That upsets me.
For me, it would be. So I don't like people that are dishonest. So somebody that got it, flashy, and then your card declines, and then that one declines, and another one. Like, do you got this? Can you pay for like? Like, yeah, like it's okay to be where you're at. There's nothing wrong with somebody being at a specific place in life, but they have ambition to get somewhere. I would much rather be associated with someone, even date someone that doesn't have it all figured out, whatever his situation is, but he has the ambition and he's working towards it and he's making the moves to work towards it.
So keep it real. Do you think it's okay to ask a man how much money he makes?
Depends on which stage you are at the relationship. If we're just having dinner for the first time or whatever.
So how many months in you asking for the ATM receipt? Like,
Not necessarily months, but once I know where the relationship is going, what our intentions are, and what we're trying to work towards, if we're really going to make this work, then yeah, we're going to plan a future together, then that's when we would have that
But you don't
conversation.
even need an
And that can be at
ATM
any
receipt.
time.
You can just see it. You can see what's going on, right?
I think people are really good at faking. Oh my God, I've seen it. Like,
there's some people that spend more money on faking it than taking care of themselves.
100%. They need to keep up this persona, this image, and social media has made it so much worse.
I feel like
But,
credit
like,
scores are super, super important too.
For sure.
Even just rentals.
When is it okay to ask? You know what you make, right? So my question is, do you ever ask what is your credit score? Does anybody have that?
Yeah, if we're talking about future, when I know that I want to purchase property with you, or we're doing some sort of investment together, and we need to come together and
First date?
get to it.
Hold on. Get right to it.
Not for me, no.
Okay, so what's the minimum credit score a man can have? No, keep it real with us, yo. Don't laugh it off.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what it is we're trying to go in on. Like 750.
750.
750.
Whoa, okay.
Anything over 7 is good, I
Okay,
think.
okay.
Yeah, you can work with anything over 7.
No.
What if it's a
High
600?
sixes?
Working
No. You got
What's like a 605?
But I
What's
mean,
a 605?
then we have to have a
605, no?
conversation. That wouldn't be a deciding factor though, because again, maybe he just doesn't have the financial literacy. I know for myself, I didn't grow up with all the tools that I needed to be successful and things like that.
Right.
I grew up not understanding credit
Didn't
scores.
come to you like financial
knowing that they
Jordan
were-
right here. She's
yeah,
just been
knowing that
hustling
they
since 6 years old.
Not knowing that they were important and played a significant, But yeah, if he's somebody that has a low, score and he wants to learn how to fix it and can you help? Like, I'm cool with that. I could help some.
Low score, good guy, good dick, that she's keeping up.
Yeah, like, I mean, those are things that you can fix. It's not a deciding factor.
Good job.
Yo, oh my god. So, okay, this is kind of a weird question. Why is it not okay to ask a man if he makes over $65,000 a year? Why is it not okay?
We don't know. You
Why?
tell us.
Is it okay?
Again,
Yes.
it depends on where you guys are at. If it's the first date,
How old is he?
no.
How old is he? He's from 25 to 35, yeah.
Okay. I don't understand your question though.
Why is it not okay to ask a man if he makes $65,000 a year?
I don't know.
I think it depends on where you guys are.
think
I
it's
don't
fine.
think there's anything
Why does
wrong
it?
with
Yeah,
it.
make whatever you make. Why does it matter?
I feel like you gotta hold that. I was just like, like whatever. It is what it is.
It
Like,
is what it is.
Mhm.
Who cares?
you're either comfortable with it or you're not.
So you guys are really in it for love. I love these answers because I thought I would get more cutthroat answers.
What I will say though, it depends on your particular situation too. So if you're a type of female that you need a man in order to get to your next point or your next level in life, then it's going to matter to you. But if you have your own and you know what you're doing and you're secure, it doesn't matter as much.
Is it wrong to
Unless
need,
you guys
is
are
it
gonna
wrong
come
to
together
need
at
or
some point.
want codependency financially?
Is it wrong?
Is it wrong?
No.
No, not at all. But it's just not necessary for everyone.
I think it depends on the dynamic.
Definitely.
And then like in on the guy side of it, like you gotta know what you're getting into. Like it's gotta be very
100%.
clear communication, right?
Exactly. But I mean, if you can take care of yourself and you have your own place and you have your own property, you're doing your own thing, I don't think what he's making is really going to change my situation at all.
Okay, so that brings me to my next point. 5 mistakes every couple makes when it comes to financial literacy. Step 1. Failing to pool earnings together.
Totally. Yes.
So, why is it so hard to share your bankroll, man? Like, why is it so hard?
Because you're lying.
Yeah. A lot of people, when they start dating, they're not exactly who they are.
Yeah.
They're putting on a persona, and that's not, sustainable. You can't keep it going. So they would rather just lie and, yeah.
It's not though.
It's sad.
No, that's hilarious. It's not a
It's
job
not.
interview for real. But here's one that a lot of the guys are complaining about when it comes to women is carrying old debts. So the whole narrative right now on Instagram is like, yeah, I might only make $65,000 a year, but you got $100,000 fucking student loan that you're still paying off. Like, so who's better? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, 65,000.
like you could make fucking whatever, but your student loan's chipping whatever you make in half. You know what I'm saying? So can you really judge somebody, or is that just two people that actually need to lean on codependency? Because let's keep it real. An article was released in Toronto saying that couples are not breaking up based on the fact that they need to live in the condo downtown.
Yeah. It's cheaper.
It's cheaper to keep him too, right? So, would you date somebody who had $100,000 debt?
What does he have set up in place to pay it off? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's more important than anything. Because again, somebody that's bringing $65,000 a year, their spending habits could be shit. But somebody that is in debt,
And
yeah,
then
but somebody
taxes,
that's in debt because of a student loan, I mean, that could work to his
So
benefit
smart him
eventually.
or her.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
You're
like
there,
that
bro.
could work to his benefit eventually. What is he planning on doing with that?
I feel like that also applies too. It's like, what are the student loans for? Like if you're in like the medical field,
Exactly,
if
that
you're a
can
doctor,
Yeah,
benefit.
but if
Like,
it's
you just know
political
you're
science,
fucked.
If you went
and some
into
shit,
fashion
like,
working,
what the
yeah.
fuck you doing,
Yeah.
Basket weaving 101, fuck you. I ain't
that
paying
could
your
have been
fucking loan.
that could have been a decent investment towards his future. So it all depends.
Okay. Ignoring personal traits, and that's what you basically just brought up, is knowing your partner's spending habits, knowing who they are they flashy, do they want the new winter jacket every year, do they need the fucking, do they need their hair done all the time, could they do it themselves, you know what I'm saying, like, what are some personal traits that you just seen, in partners before, and you're like, nah, I gotta let this guy go? Tell us one of the lie stories, because you're like, people lie all the time, so you know some stories. So tell us a story that, it actually, happened to you, where you're just like, nah, this I can't take this no more. Don't try laughing off. Like, let's keep it candid.
there was one person, whenever we would go out, he was super tight about, oh my gosh, like that's super expensive, or no, that restaurant's too expensive, or just like basic things that you could, like $20 plate, whatever. Oh my gosh, that's too, so that said a lot. Yeah, like Jackasters and stuff like that. Like that's too. Oh, I'm not parking there downtown. Let's find somewhere cheap. Like it was always that, and it just made me wonder. Like, do you have your situation under control? Because that's minor stuff. So just somebody like that.
Okay. So just penny pinching, you don't like to see that. You want to be like steak, and he's like, all right. You want to be like, let's go to Miami. Let's go.
That's where the planning and the budgeting comes in. So it's like if you're planning appropriately and you want to take somebody out on a date, make sure that you can do so. If you can't do so, then stay at home.
Yeah, stay at home. Like, you can't just come at me for my pussy and not have the proper date.
Come on, just stay at home. We're making pasta at home tonight. Let's watch a movie, chill, eat some pasta, whatever.
I understand that.
But if you're gonna take somebody out, you need to be able to.
Is it wrong to take a girl on a date to Burger King on the first date?
No. Some of the best conversations or some of the best dates are like in a car, eating a burger with music playing, smoking, chilling.
Would that be or is that just a chill vibe? Fuck this nigga, he's cheap. No, because you're saying he's keeping it within his confines. He's saying, yo, I only got money for McDonald's right now.
Yeah, just be straight.
If you want to say no, you can say no, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Biggest thing for me is being straight up about your situation. Just be honest with yourself. Like even if you don't even have to, like, it'd be nice if you're honest with me, but be honest with yourself, really. Like, just.
I think it would be a good idea to, like, fuck a girl's mind up and shit and be like, yo, we're going to Burger King, and then take her to, like, Harbor 60 and be like, she's in the track pants at Harbor 60 and shit. Okay, so, Nadia, you've been speaking a lot about people not having jobs and shit. What is a, character trait that you've seen in a partner or a significant other that you were just like, nah, financially, you know what I mean? Like, where you're just like, I can't do this.
Probably not financially. Like, it's not really about that when you're in a relationship. I think it's more about the intimacy and the emotional level that you guys are on. I would say the most thing that I've faced is jealousy from men.
Just with money?
No, just with me as a woman, and you're jealous of me because I'm a woman, and I get to put on makeup, and I get to have pretty hair, and I get to do all of these things, and you're jealous of me, and you want to put me down.
You don't mean like
insecure.
But she touched on a good point. Like dating someone that is intimidated by your income. So I've had that where you could tell they were a little shifty because I'm like, it's okay, I got it, or I'll pay for it.
And then
whatever.
they're pretending to have more. And
well, no. I was nicer.
I got it. I got it.
I was nicer, but I mean, like, I've seen that where they start to watch certain things, like, oh, okay, well, it's like, that's uncomfortable.
Like the
shit. If you want to pay for my food, pay for that shit, yo. I'll get you next time. Thank you. I'm gonna fucking beat your box tonight, girl. I love you.
Again, if you're in a situation where that's not a problem for you, then it's not a problem. It just depends, I guess.
Angelique, I had a question because I know that you're in forex trading. What's some of like the biggest mistakes that you see retail investors making when they just hop into forex? Like, how do they fuck up using
risk management? So not practicing proper risk management to begin with. Sometimes people go into it and they want to make quick money. Like they want to go big, they want to whatever. You need to set up a proper trading plan and determine what your risk management is for a specific day. So for me, I have a percentage that I need to hit each day, and I don't go past that. And if I enter a trade and if I lose 2 trades for the day, I'm done. Some people don't know when to wrap it up and call it. Some people will stay in. It's like, oh, I lost that. If I go in twice as much, I'll make twice. And then they blow
the gambling
account.
Cycle.
Yeah, so that would be a risk management, having a proper plan going into it and knowing when to call it.
You mentioned percentages and stuff like that of the bag that you're willing to risk. For you personally, without like not a dollar figure, but like what percentage of your, let's say, like liquidity just on the platform are you risking at a time per
For me, it's 4%.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I hit my 4% for the day, I'm good.
Done.
And I'm done, yeah. Even if I see the market's going in my favor and I can get back in, I still need to know when to call it. So that's like top.
That conversation just went over a lot of people's heads.
No, I get it though. No, because that brings me into yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Let me do my job. Yeah. So first of all, is forex illegal in Canada? Okay, because I feel like some guys are out here perpetrating and just running like a pyramid thing. Like, what's really going on?
There's a lot of
They
people
are.
that are, yeah.
Okay,
But I
okay.
mean, just like anything, if you go to a regular job, that's a pyramid scheme. You have your CEO, the
Well,
senior management,
Okay,
your
okay,
supervisors,
okay,
employees.
okay.
But I don't have to pay
Okay.
$4,000 to get in.
No, but you don't
That's
have
a pyramid scheme.
you
It's the
don't-
same as the MLMs.
No,
but a lot of
it's
these
really-
forex, you pay $4,000. You get the app. You get the.
I don't
and
know
we'll
who you've
set
been
you up.
speaking to, but that's not the case all the time.
Okay.
No, not you. Just other people.
Yeah, no. Some people get in with education for like $99. If somebody
Right.
can go into a degree program and put themselves in debt, 50 grand, and people cheer for them, oh my gosh, congratulations, you're about
I
to go
don't
get a
cheer for them.
degree.
I don't know about
But a
you.
lot of people in their
I
families,
don't like no
they
professional
cheer for them,
students.
and
yo.
they're like,
I
"That's
don't like that.
you did it. That's great. Oh, you're on OSAP. That's great. You got qualified. That's amazing. You're starting off your life $50,000 in debt. But if you were told that you need to take, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000 to invest in yourself to learn something so that you can take control of your life, it's a scam. Like,
It's the same as any business.
I-
though, right?
I
You
don't see it
invest
that
into
way.
the business.
and then there's when you invest into certain businesses, you're kind of left to figure it out. Like the overhead for a lot of businesses wipe people out within their first year. So it's like you just need to understand where you.
Okay, so yeah, what the hell is forex? Like foreign exchange. So what you doing? You just switching bills? Like
You go on a trip, you exchange your Canadian dollars. You're going to Mexico, you exchange your Canadian dollars for Mexican or wherever. That's an exchange. That's foreign exchange. That's happening 24 hours a day from 5 o'clock Sunday to about 5 o'clock Friday. And that's happening everywhere in the world. So it's a market where it's just an exchange of currency.
so you're just basically like trading on currency basically.
You're trading on currency. So if I go in on a specific pair or for gold, like that's that's within the market as well. I'm determining, is this dollar going to go up? Is this one going to go down? And based on a specific time frame that I set out for myself,
Right.
it'll
You
either
short
go
it.
up or it'll go down.
Yeah.
And all of this is based off of charting and doing markups and understanding previous algorithms and behaviors of the market.
All right. So you kind of have like a following now and people that gravitate towards your business model and so on and so forth. But what the hell is the difference between that and me going on Simple and just trading currency myself? You know what I mean? Like, why do I need the forex platform to kind of?
If you were
Is it
about
more
to,
organized? Is it like
it's definitely more organized, but there's a lot of people that do jump in and start trading on their own, and some are successful with it, some aren't. But it's just like anything else. The more knowledge you have and the more education you have behind it, yeah, you got to do your research and understand what it is that you're doing, because you're not going to just jump into a car and not fully understand, how to operate it. Some people do.
some
But
people
it's
read
not
the manual
advisable,
first though,
and they're like, I'm good to go. Yeah, no. Like,
you got to put in the miles.
yeah, you gotta know what you're doing, for sure.
So where are some ways that I can like garner education? Like how does the system work? Like how does your system work, I should say?
My system, I work with a team, and it's a company that provides a financial education platform. But along with this platform, we have a lot of people that'll come in, and they don't necessarily want to learn the basics of trading and investing. They just want to get in. And we have professional traders and investors that provide signals and alerts for the people that sign on, and they're able to pretty much copy and paste those alerts on a daily basis. We have them coming in all throughout the day. So you have those people that just want to enter trade.
It's like free money.
Pretty much, yeah. And then you have people that want to learn about the education part of it. My goal when I started this was I wanted to be on a beach, on my phone, enter 1 or 2 trades, and continue with my day.
Right.
That's what my ultimate success is, and I've been able to do that recently. So that's basically.
So where's the
it.
next beach, yo?
I don't know. I'm
Waikiki?
thinking
You don't
of hitting of Dubai next.
Dubai. That's so like everybody does
Dubai
that.
too.
I've
yo.
never been, so I want to
I
go.
guess so.
Dubai
I
way.
guess so.
Yeah,
I
I've
guess.
never been, so I want to go.
So is this like a subscription or like a one-time payment?
Yeah,
Like, you know,
so you do an initial fee, and then there's like a gym subscription to maintain.
how much are we talking?
There's levels.
Patreon.
Alright,
There's
so-
levels. There's
so let me
levels
say,
to it.
like, so, you know, pretend like I'm like working McDonald's or some shit. There's no budget. Can I just
You
hop
can get
into
on with
FOREX,
$99.
go and get in? $99.
$99.
In.
Because the thing about it is they made it available to people that are even in like third world countries that just want to learn how to manage their money and learn how to make their money work for them. So it's available to anyone. Literally. Like you
Oh.
spend more on your cell phone bill each month. Like it's
Yeah.
there's really no excuse. So we have memberships that start at $99, $2.99, $5.99, and $14.99. And obviously with everyone you are able to obtain more.
And that's annual or monthly?
So that's the initial, and then the monthly is either $99 for the first one or $175 for the other three. And that's the subscription fee for it each
To get like the alerts and stuff like that. Okay.
The 173.
That's USD, yes. And then we also have about 45 live classes each week. So there's a lot of people that even with like the modules and the platform, people just don't retain the information. I know for myself, like I don't like sitting down and just listening to modules and videos or whatever. So live classes where you jump on with experienced traders and you can trade with them real time. You can ask them questions real time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing,
Yeah,
you know
why
what I
we
mean?
fucking up the game? I seen the number rising. Why we stopping right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can ask them questions. And for me, I think that was something that I didn't see in this industry. So there's that benefit to it where you're on with people that know what they're doing and they're literally holding your hand.
So the 99 is just the straight calls, and the 173 is the education, the
Yeah.
full support.
So 99 is education as well.
Okay.
And the other three, you'll get other class. Like all of them, you get classes with.
Right.
All of them, you get signals with.
Right.
It just depends, like which one you have. It determines how many you get for each level of membership.
Okay. So based on your income, your budget, how comfortable you are, how all in you want to go with FOREX. There's options. Okay, that's cool.
So it's not just the 4 racks and fuck you
No,
pyramid Ponzi
definitely.
scheme.
No, the
Fire
goal,
festival.
the goal is like my personal goal when it comes to business and what I'm doing is to create the largest trading team in Toronto. So it doesn't matter where you fit in, as long as you do something and you're proactive. Like, yeah,
That's sick.
people start with $99, learn how to make it, flip it, and they're able to do more with it. They
My
upgrade. they
last
do other
question
things.
about Forex though.
Mhm.
Do you gotta pay taxes on this shit?
It depends how much you bring in, but yeah.
It depends on what you bring it in.
No, I mean, yes. No, the answer is yes. No. Cut that out. Cut that one out.
Off
It's
camera.
yes. It's yes.
Okay, so Nadia, you're in the studio business. You've been in the photography business, so on and so forth. Run us through that because there's a lot of like art kids in Toronto that probably have the vision or the foresight to do the same. They just don't understand what steps it takes. So how did that start for you? And run us through the whole rigors of it. Like, what was step A, B, C? Like, how do you start a studio?
Ooh. How do you start a studio? I think it would just go back to you have a lot of art kids and photography people, so you want me to run through that?
Well, I mean, sure. Like, how do you start out as a photographer and actually, start making money? You know what I mean? Because everybody's taking pictures. Like, we live in the picture age. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'd say get comfortable with talking about money and asking for money. And then also, one thing I see a lot is people, they want to be worth too much. Like your package is too much and you don't want to take a little bit off of it just to get the client. So I would say just do what you need to do for the money and work with the person. Don't overvalue yourself and don't think that you're too good. I mean, if you have to do a shoot for $80, do a shoot for $80. Who cares? You have $0. So take the $80.
right.
So that's what I would say.
Don't play the starving artist.
don't.
Humility.
Yeah, exactly. And work with your client.
So how do you get to the corporate level now where you're, doing it for businesses and stuff like that? How do you even get into that sector?
How do you do it in a corporate level? I think that you would have to continue to network and talk to those people the same way that you're talking to your first client. You would have to continue to build up until you're getting to that corporate level. And there's no blueprint. Everybody's going to do it the same way. Entrepreneurship isn't one way.
Right.
And part of the reason why people want to work with you is because they like you.
Right.
So continue to be yourself and continue to work. Keep working and do what works.
So now, like, when it comes to like owning a studio, and what does that take to break ground? What does that take to, you know, um, have a white space? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much is the vest? You don't have to get into numbers, but you can be like, it was this much. You know what I'm saying? Like what was the starting point like, and what is it like now? You're coming up to your opening soon, right? So, what are some of the things that you've gone through?
Wait, what are you asking?
About your studio, right? So it's just like,
what have I gone through to get to this point?
Yeah. Beginning till now.
I mean, I guess like financial issues, confidence issues, just continuing to push through. Is this going to happen? The reality of it, organizational, it's just a lot of hurdles that you have to get over, and you have a goal and get there by any means.
How many permits do you need for a studio of that size?
I think it depends on where you're operating too, but as far as permits, what do you mean?
Like, don't you need permits for like noise complaints and shit like that? Are you gonna need like?
I don't need permits to make noise. What do you mean?
Is this a big team that's put this together,
Right.
or is it all through you?
Like, is it like there's so many things that go into owning this space? You know what I mean? So what
What
are
does
the
it look
things that you need in order to open a studio?
I don't think you really need anything. I think you just need like a bank account, get a lease, or buy the property. I think you just need the credentials. You need some credit. You need some insurance. You do though. You need some credit. You need some insurance. You need a bank account. You need some credentials. Whatever the person, get the space, and then whatever they require of you, be able to provide it.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on really what you're opening, and that can go as far as retail or any type of brick and mortar shop that you're opening. It depends.
So like what does your staff look like? Like how many engineers, like assistants, like all the people kind of behind the scenes that make it happen? Like what does that look like?
Right now I have like a construction team doing renovations. I have an assistant. I have myself. I have a mentor. That's kind of it right now. But I haven't even opened. So we'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. I don't know.
Right. So have you developed a structure for kind of keeping the studio filled, upon opening, or, the plan is the plan is the plan, but can you kind of leak some of the tricks of the trade that you do have coming?
What are you asking?
For the opening of the studio.
A lot of that has to do just with networking. So just like people you know. People you know. Get up. Go shower. Get out. What are you gonna do? You're gonna sit there and tweet all day? Get out of your house. Go.
But that talks to like what DJ Wicked said. He said, "I'll do it either way. I'll slap hands, but I'll take a DM too." Like,
for sure, but
saying?
you can't just be at home.
Mm-hmm.
You have to meet people in person. They have to feel you. They have to meet you. They have to like you. That you can't do everything over Zoom.
Relationships.
You have to create relationships in some capacity. Yeah.
And I'm on the opposite spectrum. I'm good with like staying isolated by myself,
Whoa,
making my
see?
little bit of change, and not really communicating if I don't need to. That I love
Remote.
that, but I get it. It's important, especially when you know you have
Two
to
different sides of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
that's
it's
good.
But
just-
That's
they're
what we
both
need.
very important. Both
Yeah.
very important.
And
So
what
you
is
just-
the networking? My bad.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say because like you said you like being a bit more remote, which is totally fair. Like I like networking in person, online, staying away, whatever. It depends on my mood. But for you, like, what does networking in the trading space look like?
Networking in my trading space.
Yeah.
Well, we travel a lot throughout the year, so we have a lot of trading events in different parts of the world, and a lot of our networking comes into play when we do that. So this year alone, we were in Atlanta, Miami, Houston, and then I took a couple of trips on my own. And we hold events often where we're getting together with people and kind of just sharing what it is that we do and getting people involved. So we do a lot of that, and a lot of our meetings are online on Zooms and things like that. But the benefit is if you didn't want to be a part of all of that and you still wanted to make money, like you literally don't really need to like interact with too many people.
Stay in your house. Don't shower. Pick up your cell phone and text in your brief.
The best habit, I'm sure, but there's people that do that on a regular and they're able to still make their percentage for the day and carry on.
I guess it's up to you. You know, do you want to get
Whatever
out and
works for
hustle
you.
and bustle, or do you want to sit at your house and just work off your computer all day?
Everyone's different, yeah.
But you would have to go to the occasional trip to hit one of these conventions.
You don't have to, no. There's some people that don't. They literally just want to know how to trade, and that's it.
Okay, so we started with failure, and we're going to kind of wrap it up with what a win looks like to you. So, you know, define what a win is in your business, and just to you on like a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, whichever way you want to define it, yearly. But what does a win look like for you as somebody who is financially literate, and could be a number if you want to put out a number. Like what does a win look like for you?
I'd say like 40 to 50K.
Like that's a lick, like one time, bang, 40, 50K.
No, we're good. Feel good.
No, that's just one,
I feel good.
just one check, she said.
Yeah, I'd feel good. Yeah.
You're like a year.
Month,
almost
maybe.
popped off. It almost
Month.
popped off.
For me, I don't really think it's like a money figure. It's just being content. So like, if you feel like you've accomplished enough for that day, that week, that month, that year, you hit what it was that you said, or at least most of it, and you feel content with your efforts, then that's a win for me.
Never exceeding that. You're just okay with
No,
setting the goal.
always striving to exceed, but like sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're able just to hit where you want to, or you're just a little bit short. So as long as you're content with the effort you put forth in whatever specific situation, that for me is a win.
Like growth,
Yeah,
just growing.
just
Slow progress is the best process.
yeah.
Jogging.
Yeah.
Okay, and Nadia, you're just gonna stick with the.
I'm sticking with that. I think like when a big contract comes in, that's good because you're gonna keep getting contracts, but when a good contract comes in, you're like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, exactly. So I'll be happy with that.
Big.
Okay, all right. So we brought it to you. That was like two ladies spilling their heart out about business, and if you didn't learn something from this, you're a damn fool. I thank you so much for coming out, Angelina, and maybe you can shout out your Instagram and your business and so on and so forth before you go.
Yeah. So I am on Instagram, and my handle is Miss Angel Spencer, and you can hit me up there if you want to learn more.
No Patreon,
No.
no TikTok, no.
No.
What's the company you work with or the group that you work with?
I rather not say. Yeah, because
Ooh.
at the end of the day, it's more. Yes, the company I work with is beneficial, but it's more the team that I work with. So my team is OBG, and the team, they provide what it is that you need.
Tap
OBG.
in. OBG.
All right, and Nadia, where can people find you if they want to kind of get
I'll
studio
find them.
information?
Don't worry about it. I'll find them, or they can talk to you.
Referral
Yeah,
only.
so link us up on Instagram if you want to go to Bank Studios.
That's
That's the direct
Didn't have-
connection. And give me my 13%. Alright? Signing out. Big up Lofsky, OG MacG.